Hello everyone and welcome to this unique video. I've never done it before. It's Assetto Corsa versus Gran Turismo, but we're just going to look at driving styles. It's not graphics, it's not anything like that, purely driving styles and how one driving style is actually different from the others when we actually play the games and we compare like for like. So in each game we've taken one car on one track and we've done this twice. So we've got the 458 on the Silverstone International circuit and we've got the McLaren MP4-12C on the national circuit. Now I would really love to do this with Nissans when they introduce them, just for the fact I've done GT Academy there and I could really get a decent understanding of which one is more realistic or which one's better for, you know, driving style in the real world. But we're going to compare like for like and just get an idea of why one is different to the other, and my lap times are actually quite different because they're about 4-second difference between each of the simulators, even comparing the different cars. So let's first up, let's have a look at Gran Turismo. We're used to Gran Turismo, so we can actually get a good idea straight away of what we're going to do on Gran Turismo. As you've seen in the time trials, you can be very aggressive. You want a lot of rotation, you want the slide just to get round. Now sliding isn't unrealistic. You will get a bit of slip in race cars. It's just really extreme in Gran Turismo. That's why it looks unrealistic. But we're going to come into this at first sharp corner. You'll see us modulate the brake, but this is to try and induce a bit of oversteer to try and get around the corner quicker and therefore get out and get a faster lap time. So we're going to try and do the same again. You'll notice we're going to be braking very hard and accelerating very hard. There's no modulation. And the only modulation in braking that we're doing is to try and get oversteer. It's not to try and balance the weight in the car or anything like that. And this is one key difference between the two. Which I'll show you shortly with Assetto Corsa, is the fact that you've got to be a lot more patient in that simulator than Gran Turismo, where you can just put your foot down. Now Gran Turismo is a good game. We've seen, you know, it produces GT Academy champions. Yanni's up there racing with the best. You know, it's good. Gran Turismo teaches you the basics of driving, but we want to try and find which one's a little bit more realistic in the driving style in order to improve yourselves as drivers. So as you see, we came round, we do a 1 minute 8.3. So it's a good lap time, and then we're straight into Assetto Corsa. On this lap in particular, I want you to focus on the braking and accelerating in the right side of the corner, because this will give you a good idea of what I'm doing compared to Gran Turismo. And you'll automatically see straight away here, I'm having to balance the throttle a lot earlier. First off, the reason for that, we're getting more understeer than we did on Gran Turismo. Now in Gran Turismo, to counter that, we tried to do oversteer. In Assetto Corsa, it's much harder to control the oversteer in order to get a good time. You can get oversteer, you can do it quite easily with the braking. If you come straight off the brakes, you're going to get the weight moving all over the place. As you see there, straight away twitch as I went on the accelerator. Gran Turismo, I didn't get that. So you've got to be a lot more patient with the car just because of the understeer. Now, as mentioned, you can get oversteer just by coming off the brakes really quickly, the weight transfer. So that's another thing with Assetto and Gran Turismo. You're going to get more weight shift, weight transfer in Assetto. So instantly you're going to have different play styles. Gran Turismo, you can sort of be really aggressive, really go for it. The weight transfer isn't huge. There is some there because you can do trail braking in and the car starts dancing around a little bit. We use that to our advantage. We can't use it as much here, just purely because we'll start losing the car, sliding, crashing, things like that. Instantly, you can see we're 4 seconds different compared to Gran Turismo. We jump straight into the McLaren now on the national circuit, and once again, if you have a look at the accelerator in a second as we go around the first corner, we're not even on it. And then we go full on this time because we want a little bit of a slip to try and come round. But generally speaking, we're just waiting to get around the corner because if the instant we put our foot on the accelerator, it's going to start understeering off. Notice there, we were just modulating the brake and we're now balancing the throttle. We're balancing it for a really long time. We're just trying to get round, and that's a key difference between these two. And then as you see when we come to Brooklands and Lovefield, once again, we're going to be modulating that brake so much. It's so easy to oversteer in Assetto Corsa just because you're not braking properly. You want to come off the brakes. You don't want to just sharply come off the brakes. You just want to roll off the brakes, because if you sharply come off, the car's doing all sorts. You know, you've just gone nosediving, you're lifting straight off. Whoa, what's the car weight doing? It's doing all sorts. That's the issue. That's why you get oversteer, because the car's unsettled. As we come round, you can see we've got a 1 minute 0.5 in there. It's just a tiny bit quicker than that one. That's another 1 minute 0.5. And now we'll see the Gran Turismo lap times at 56. Once again, it's 4 seconds off. and you'll notice how much more aggressive. So we're on the throttle a bit earlier that time. We did the same technique. We were off the throttle, then went full throttle. But as we come into this next corner, you'll see how aggressive we go into the braking. Look at that, full on, still in the turn there, and we get round, and it's much easier. You get a bit more sense of speed in Gran Turismo than you do in Assetto, but Assetto feels the circuit feels a lot closer to you, which is quite interesting actually. So there's the key differences and key driving style differences. So if you're really aggressive in Gran Turismo, you're going to find it much harder to race in Assetto Corsa. If you're very calm in Gran Turismo, I think and patient, you might find it quite easy to transfer to Assetto Corsa and actually feel like you're a quicker driver in Assetto than Gran Turismo. They're both good simulators for the console, for Gran Turismo, for the PC, for Assetto, but they have their differences. One, you have to be really aggressive, the other, you have to be really patient. Now if I compare this to, say, GT Academy, we did do a race online, but then we went offline and did the same track. The difference was about 10 seconds in lap. So you're looking at Assetto Corsa being more realistic in times, but we'll only see for definite when we have a look at the Nissans when that eventually comes to Assetto Corsa. So I hope you enjoyed that unique little view of driving styles between Gran Turismo and Assetto Corsa, the patience of Assetto, the aggressiveness of Gran Turismo, and we're going to look at these a little bit more. We'll look at graphics as well and things like that, but this was just a look at driving styles and how one is different to the other. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.